Hello friends, it's me, Rhea Peterson. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are focusing on meal prep. It's time to clean out the fridge and get all of the meals ready for my family for the week. Meal prep does not need to be very involved. It can be something as simple as roasting some vegetables as a side for the week, and I am really looking forward to having my fridge stocked with everything I need to make dinners easier. If you are new here, my name is Rhea Peterson. I upload typically twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I cover things like cleaning motivation, organization, mom life, but also food, and I'm so excited to share this meal prep with you. If you aren't already, I hope that you will click that subscribe button, stick around, hang out with me. Let's get started. Okay, so here's the plan. I got groceries yesterday, and a lot of it was stuff that just wasn't needed immediately. All the produce I just threw in the fridge. I was not feeling getting everything done day of. I was tired. So I just threw it all in the fridge. Hugo was very kind. He put away all of the pantry stuff, which we are kind of paring down, so there wasn't that much to put away. And like I restocked on a lot of proteins like turkey, beef, which are just in the outside freezer for different weeks, not this week. But the goal is to just get all the produce cleaned and put away. I have a few things that I want to roast up for meals. But my goal is to just kind of make the week easy, have a lot of things pre-made so that we can kind of mix and match depending on what the mood is. I'm going to be making chicken salad again, which you've seen me make on this channel a lot. So I'm probably just gonna glaze over that a little bit. But mostly I just wanna show what I like to do when I wanna take the thinking out of it for dinners. Dinner is a hard one for us. My kids, I mean, I don't love throwing the word picky around, but if the definition fits, I guess it is the right word to use. They are very choosy in what they'll like, and I'm sure I'm not alone. One day they'll like something, another day it's just, how dare I make that for them. So I'm just gonna make sure I have a lot of options. My kids have been like back to back sick, and it's just been exhausting when it comes to just trying to figure out what they're gonna eat, because I want them to get better and eat really healthy, but they're like extra picky when they're sick. Now that they're getting better, I am going to try to incorporate more of those healthy options in hopes that maybe we won't get sick ever again. I do live in reality. So let's get all the produce out of the fridge, get that cleaned up, wipe out the fridge. We're just kind of clean and cook together, and then I will film the meals throughout the week of what I end up putting together. I'll leave all the recipes in the description box. Let me know what you do for your kids when they're sick. Will your kids eat soup? Mine won't. They won't do it. They don't like Pedialyte either, so I love them. Okay, let's get started. We are going to start off by getting all the produce back out of the fridge and actually getting it washed. And while that sits, I want to get the fridge cleaned out. I feel like, what's the point in going through all of this effort to get all of this meal prep stuff done and only to put it back into a dirty fridge? So we're going to get all of the produce, get it washed, and then wipe out the fridge while it soaks. I'm also pulling out the rotisserie chicken. I usually always get one from Costco. It makes the week so much easier. I'm gonna use it in chicken salad and barbecue sandwiches. They are lifesavers. I am going to be using my produce purifier. It's this little contraption that you put in, and it's ionizing, so it will help kill a lot of bacteria and stuff that's in your produce. One of the things about it though is that you still need to like jostle the produce around, move it around while it's sitting. And if there's a lot of dirt caked on, you do need to scrub it off. It doesn't get all the dirt off and stuff, but it does help reduce, pesticides, bacteria, things like that. So I like just that little extra bit of help that it gives. And I do feel like my produce is a bit cleaner. So I'm going to show it to you. You add a little bit of salt, you put it in there, you let it sit. It does its job. It has a little charger. This thing is so much fun. Bad. It's been so much work. My goal this week for this meal prep was to make sure that I just had a lot of really easily accessible things in the fridge that I could add or combine to make a full meal. I'm not putting together an entire meal. I'm not doing like meal prep containers necessarily for the week. It is very much a mix and match, just kind of getting back in the swing of things, of having all of the meal prep stuff in the fridge, roasting up some vegetables, making sure that the produce is easy to eat already for the kids, and I would even be more likely to use it if it's already pre-cut. So that is the goal. And then I have some tentative plans that I've already written down, which go along with like what I got in my grocery haul, but making it adaptable so that I can change it up if I need to. I can switch things around. If that day of the week that something was planned for, it's just something has come up, I have something else easier to make that's healthy, that's not necessarily just like a corn dog or macaroni and cheese for my kids. So that is the goal. It's not just ready-made meals. It is things that I can combine together to make meals that are going to work for my family that day, because I found I've got to be adaptable, because oftentimes what I have planned is not necessarily what is going to actually work on the day. So my family is very much one that something sounds good one day, and then by the time it's time to have it, it's just not what we want anymore. So having the tried and trues, having things ready to go in the fridge, being adaptable, and just throwing together dinner a lot easier, because I will put off making dinner up until like 5 o'clock, and then I'm like, what are we gonna have? And doing it this way for me has just made it so much easier to just get things together, get things made. It keeps me interested. It keeps things a little bit less mundane for me. this is done. I'm gonna let it sit here and drain a little bit and get out all of the containers for the fresh produce. My kids love fresh things. They don't like a lot of cooked produce. They don't like steamed carrots or even just roasted bell pepper very much, but they will tolerate it. So we do use a lot of fresh produce in the house, and I want to make sure that it will last. So I invested in these containers. They're a little pricey, but I do feel like they are effective. They come with this little chart on the lid that shows you if the produce needs water and air ventilation or not, which is a really helpful guide. I'm putting the spinach in and it calls for air ventilation and a little bit of water at the bottom. So that is what I'm doing. These things are so handy. They do take up some space in the fridge, but I like how they're clear. You can see everything and my kids can easily access what they want to eat. And I'm not worried about them like pulling out moldy cucumbers or something. So these containers are really, really handy. I am so glad that we have them. And I know that there's a lot more affordable options out there. These ones are a little pricey, but I definitely feel like they were worth the investment. But I'm gonna finish just getting all of the produce put away. I saved some of the celery. I wanna chop it up and put it in the freezer. I like to have it on hand for soups when, I can maybe convince my kids to eat it, but also Connor and I like it. And you can use celery for a lot of things that you cook with. So I just wanted to get some of that in the fridge, restock. I was out, get it all chopped up. I just chop it, label it, put it in the freezer, and it will last for a long time. And then you just have celery on hand. I feel like celery is usually the one thing that isn't always around. You can usually find a carrot or an onion, but celery is the one that, like my son Callum loves celery, but he kind of burns out on it after a while. So we don't always have it in the house. Okay, so I'm not gonna chop up the bell peppers yet because I'm gonna roast some of those with the chicken sausages that I got out to thaw. So I'm gonna chop up some sweet potatoes, get some chickpeas drained and dried. I'm gonna roast those things in the oven for like sides and adding to salads. I wanna make some chickpea tacos this week, which I'll show you. I'm really excited about those. And then hopefully the chicken sausages will be thawed by then and we can cook those up with some of the bell pepper. The other half will go in fresh in the fridge. So that should go pretty quickly. This is a really good can opener. This one is terrible. Don't get this one. Get this one. This one. Connor got me that new can opener for Mother's Day, and honestly, it was one of the greatest gifts he could have given me. I've been struggling with that flippin' red one for years. We got one when we got married that was awesome, and I honestly think that it was an OXO can opener, but like the handle was broken and I was the only one that could use it, and I'm left-handed, so there's already issues with using can openers as a lefty, but that new one is amazing. Look at the size of this sweet potato, and it was all lumpy too, so it was really hard to peel, but man, challenge accepted. I was determined to get that thing peeled. For the sweet potatoes, I just like having them around. I think they make a good side for meals. They go well with eggs, which is primarily what I used them for this week. I like to cook up eggs add some sweet potato and spinach and then just some hot sauce. It's a really high protein meal and you've got lots of nutrients from the sweet potatoes and the spinach. They're just really good and I really like having them. I did not have a specific plan in mind for these. It's just my husband and I really enjoy them. Alice likes them and they're just really easy to put together. Sometimes I'll make them in the oven. Sometimes I will make them in the air fryer. They're just really good. They're really good for you. They're really nutrient dense and I feel that they are delicious. I make it easy. I just eyeball it. I use olive oil, salt and pepper. I added some garlic powder and onion powder. My onion powder is all clumpy because I used it over a hot pan and it got all clumpy, which is unfortunate, but it will still come out. So I'm going to use that till the end. But I just mix it in. I roast it either at 400 or 425. I went for a softer version this time. I wanted them a little smushier. So I roasted them lower and slower so they didn't get too crunchy on the outsides. It was just the mood that I was in. So I'm gonna get these in the oven. I'm gonna do the same thing to the chickpeas. I'm gonna roast them with the same seasonings and they will cook up and get a little crispier, which is the goal, but they're also just really good for you. They're great to add to salads. The primary thing that I wanted them for was some chickpea tacos, which are delicious. I just threw them in a bowl later in the week, reheated them with some like taco seasoning, cumin, chili powder, paprika, that kind of stuff. And then we had tacos. I put together a slaw just with cabbage, a little bit of jalapeno, really quick to throw together, and just whatever vegetables I had left, chopped them up really small, made a slaw. I've done it before on the channel. I'll link the video where I've made the slaw, coleslaw. That's what it's called, coleslaw. And then I added pickle onion and stuff. They were delicious, but chickpeas really handy to have around. Sweet potatoes as well, really versatile. They go great on everything. I'm gonna get these packaged up and then cut up the sausages and some bell peppers, roast those for a little bit, get everything in the fridge, and that's it for all of the prep. The chickpeas make a really good like little snack too, just grabbing a handful of them and eating them. They're so good, and that's typically how my kids like to eat them. These sweet potatoes, like I said, they make a really good side. I will add them into dinners. I will have them on the side. I've even put them on top of oatmeal, especially when I cook them so they're a little bit softer. They mix in, and it's just a great way to add a little bit more nutrients into your probably already pretty nutrient dense oatmeal, depending on the kind that you're having. But I just like having it as an option. And also, if I don't over season them, we'll give them to Harley as little treats because she loves sweet potato. So it's like a double win for everybody. For the bell peppers, I'm splitting them in half. Half I'm chopping up smaller to roast with the sausages. And then the other half, I'm just gonna cut up fresh and have those in the fridge. My middle son, Callum especially, really loves to eat fresh bell peppers. They're one of his favorite vegetables, or are they fruits? They're one of his favorite things to eat that isn't goldfish. So there you go. I want to make sure that they're really easy to access. And these two are one that Harley can have. So having them already chopped and available to give to her is extra exciting for me because she hangs out right there in the kitchen next to me whenever I'm doing anything. And I like to just be able to give her something. Those are the Adele's chicken apple sausages. I get them at Costco. I like to get them in bulk and then I put them in the freezer because they don't take super long to thaw. They're one that the family loves and they're an easy one to just throw together last minute if I need to. So these are definitely a staple in my house. I love them. With these, I ended up sauteing them again just to reheat them a little bit. Later on in the week, I added some sliced tomatoes. I used some of the sweet potatoes that we'd already roasted and some spinach, and I cooked them up. We call this a hash. I don't know if that's the right term for it. Connor and I have been eating it since we first got married. Sorry for the shaky camera, but it's just really good. It's really, really nutrient dense. I ended up adding it on top of quinoa to add a little bit more protein, make it a little bit heartier. I like this Bachan's barbecue sauce, and so I added that on top. Pickled onion, of course, because it is just one of my favorites. I like its bright acidity with foods, but this one was really quick to throw together because I'd already roasted everything, and it was just really, really delicious. A few other meals that we had in the week, we had some chicken burgers. I had the chicken patties that I got at Costco, and I just loaded them up with lots of fruit and veg, and then lots more fruit and veg on the side. It was really, really easy to throw together, and because we already had all of the produce, it was one that was just really, really nutrient dense and bright and delicious. And then of course I said I was making my chicken salad. I adore chicken salad. It is one of my favorites. It's so easy to throw together. I like to add grapes, apples, bell peppers. I just cut things up really, really small. And then it was just really simple. I used it to make a chicken salad sandwich on gluten-free bread, but we also just eat it on top of greens or alone. Sometimes I'll add pickles on top and just eat it right out of a bowl. It is one of my favorites. It was so easy to throw together. And finally, we just made barbecue sandwiches. I took some of the rotisserie chicken, mixed in some barbecue sauce, made a delicious salad. This one was really good and really, really fast to throw together. Overall, dinner, lunch, these meals were so much easier because I already had all of this stuff prepped in the fridge. It made dinner really quick to throw together, 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending if I had to wait for quinoa or not. But having all of this stuff prepared in the fridge made my life so much easier. But I hope that this video was motivating. I hope it gave you some ideas. Again, they're not full-fledged ideas in the beginning. It's just what we end up making with what we have and making what we have a lot more accessible and convenient. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate your time. If you haven't already, I do hope that you will click that subscribe button. Again, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.